You guys have been asking all sorts of questions about how ATMs work, and today we're going to try and answer as many as we can. We've learned a lot in the process of making this beast, the ATM slot machine. We also have a problem, because it's out of order right now. The day after we did the meetup, it stopped working. Yeah, the ATM is throwing pin pad errors. So we've got a new pin pad on order, but we have a plan to hook up the bill acceptor so that it can become a change machine as well. Let's start off by just jumping into like how does this all work, and how do ATMs work, and how have we not been spending tons of money testing this, and how did we ever convince someone to let us have an ATM? There's a lot of questions to answer. There are like three main pieces that you can see on the outside of the ATM machine.
Card reader, the pin pad, and the LCD display.
Right, with the buttons on it to select. And these are just stock ATM parts. We got these straight out of the ATM. We bought one of the ATMs like this one, sitting in the arcade here.
Yeah,
we originally
the
bought a machine off Craigslist that wasn't fully working, and then we bought a fully working one off of eBay.
Yeah.
And anybody can buy one of these little, little machines that you find in like a convenience store or anything like that.
Just like owning a vending machine or operating an arcade game, anyone could be an ATM operator.
No restrictions on it. Then these parts connect to a main board here, which is kind of in the motherboard that runs all the logic. Yep, here. This is all the stuff we built for the slot machine. And these are the connectors that go to the card reader and the pin pad. And then this is the connection to the display. And then down below is the cash dispenser. So that's like a conveyor belt system. It sort of works like a printer.
Yeah.
It's got a whole bunch of conveyor belts and feeders that feed out the bills. And then it has a whole bunch of sensors to sense when those bills have gone by. Oh, and there's a power supply for the ATM. In terms of how we integrated it, we really didn't do very much.
Not to it directly, just kind of added on.
Yeah. So most of the changes we made to the ATM are just where is stuff mounted. We've extended some cables and things like that, but we really haven't like touched any of the internal logic.
Yep.
The only thing I did was change how the cash dispenser works. So instead of spitting out bills, it instead just tells the slot machine that bills were supposed to have been dispensed. So we're just dealing with the very end of the slot machine, or the ATM experience. We don't have any access to anything like card numbers or pins or anything like that. In fact, it would be really, really hard for us to get access to that. It's all encrypted, and it's actually been a huge pain just dealing with the basics of that encryption and stuff. We haven't even tried getting into that, but just even getting the machine up and running, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through. I think the biggest question we're getting is, how does the money work?
How's the loop work?
Right, like how are you guys not losing large amounts of money?
Yeah.
Strange Parts is supplying the quarters right now.
Our money.
Right. Ben and I went to the bank a couple months ago and got several $1,000s in quarters that we just withdrew from the bank. So that's Strange Parts money. We supply that. When you do a transaction, so you put your debit card into the machine, you type in your PIN number, you select how much you'd like to withdraw. This machine is connected via Ethernet to a wireless modem down here, which is like a 4G modem. Once you've put in all your information, it then connects over the internet, over an encrypted connection, to what's called a payment processor. And payment processor, anybody can sign up for a contract. You just call them up and you say, hey, I bought an ATM. I'd like to connect it to the network. And you give them your banking details. So they have the Strange Parts checking account information, like routing number, account number. And what that does is when you make your withdrawal, the money that gets debited from your personal checking account gets transferred into the Strange Parts checking account via the payment processor. And then they take the transaction fee, so that the machine charges like a $2 transaction fee right now. We want to change that to be like a 10% transaction fee and then allow people to withdraw different amounts. Right now you can only withdraw $20. Most of the time, we've been using the debug menu on the machine. So there is a debug menu where you can tell the cash dispenser to spit out one bill. And that is enough to activate the slot machine. The vast majority of the time, we haven't even been talking to the payment processor. We haven't been going through all of that. We've just been getting the motors to spin on the cash dispenser.
Do you want to talk about how it goes maybe from the credits up, like once you get a credit? So You do
Sure.
your ATM transaction. The cash dispenser gives the okay that you did the withdrawal.
Yeah.
And then that translates into credits on the slot machine. So you get a signal up to the slot machine portion that gives you your credits.
And credits are in dollars.
Yep.
So, 1 credit per dollar. And then when you pull the handle, that then converts into winner paid, and winner paid is in coins.
Yeah.
And depending on what coins you win, whether it's quarters or pennies, right now it's in quarters only mode. But if we're around and they're friends and stuff and we're having a good time, then we'll turn on the penny mode as well.
So if you have $20 in credits, that's going to equal $80 in
80 coins.
80
coins in quarters. Yeah.
And so then when you do that, there's a switch on the hopper, so every time a quarter comes out, it counts down a number.
Yeah.
Which is a security feature on our side. So if something happens, it breaks or runs out of quarters, it'll stop at the number of quarters left.
Right. Our biggest fear was that somebody would do a debit card transaction and then not get the money that they were owed.
Right.
And so we built a bunch of features in. And unfortunately, like slot machines have the same problem. And so a lot of the hardware was already there to count coins. I mean, slot machines by law need to make sure that they are paying out the right amount when somebody wins. I asked on Twitter for people to send us questions. How does it contact your bank? How does it verify your PIN? How does it know you've got coverage for the cash to withdraw? And that all happens via the Ethernet connection to the payment processor. So
the ATM handles all that stuff just like a normal ATM.
Yeah. Can it be configured to dispense arbitrary amounts, i.e. 12 cents?
Kind of.
No. Yes and no. So what you tell the ATM is what denomination bills are in the hopper. And I tried putting in 1 cent so that we could let people withdraw individual pennies. That's not possible. It requires like whole numbers.
Whole bill numbers.
Right, but you can put in dollar bills.
Right.
And we think maybe that's most used in like strip clubs. So right now it thinks it's got 20s in it, but we want to switch it so it thinks it has 1s in it. And that'll allow you to just withdraw like 4 quarters, whatever you want. Yeah. And then we'll switch the fee to be 10% so that you're not having to pay $2 fee to withdraw $1, which is lame. Someone asked, is there an ongoing cost? I mean, not really. So we're paying $10 a month for the 4G modem, and then the first processor we had took nothing. And we think that they make their money from your bank paying them?
Incentive from the bank.
Yeah, that's part of the equation I'm not fully clear on. Our current payment processor takes a small fraction of the fee, of the $2 fee. So the majority of ATMs that you find in like convenience stores are random dudes. Like not big companies necessarily. Like they're often individuals that own a bunch of ATMs around town, and their job is just to keep the ATM running and then to fill it with cash. And they handle, dealing with the processing network and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's often real small, individuals or small companies. Okay, someone asked about counterfeit bills. How do counterfeit bills get caught? And the answer is that the ATM gives no shits about bills. Whatever you put in it is what it will dispense.
Yeah, that's on you as an operator.
Yeah, right. It's up to the operator, and there are some mechanisms, like if you got a counterfeit bill from an ATM, you can dispute it. I have heard someone said they put in counterfeit bills, and they had some problems with like length.
Oh, just
so I think it does check length, just because there are 2 sensors that are like the right amount apart, and if you don't trigger both of them, you've got a problem.
One of our original ideas was just to fill it up with pieces of paper, and it would just spit out pieces of paper into a box underneath.
Yeah. I think the next step is to get into getting this bill acceptor up and running. So the plan is to at least make it into a really cool change machine.
Yes.
So you should be able to take in your bills. There are change machines here at the arcade that the arcade runs, but we were thinking it would be cool if this is a change machine as well. So it'll work the same as it works now.
Yeah. So here's our new bill validator. It just has 6 wires coming out. 2 are for power, 2 are a pulse that you get for every dollar amount that goes through, and 2 are in inhibit mode to turn it off so it won't accept bills while other stuff's going on. So we just gotta hook that up to our main board and program it up.
So when it sends a pulse, it connects 2 wires together.
Yeah.
And then how does the inhibit work? Same thing, you connect them together?
I don't know if that's inhibit or inhibit.
Okay, but you connect them.
I'm assuming.
Really
look up
interpret.
the validator.
Seems like it's asking for 5 volts, anything from 5 to 12 volts. in,
Inhibits it
and then ground on the other one.
for the inhibit.
Yeah, I'm assuming that this is the meter setup here. It's saying 5 to 12, but we only got 3.3, so I'm hoping that's enough.
I guess we want to just make the connector first.
Yeah. So I need to know which pins are which,
Okay.
so that I can wire this up. Radio Shack brand solder. Yeah, so there and there. Guess I should get all the rest of this hooked back up. All right. Let's see, I need to do some programming here, but like, I think like tentatively, yes, we're good to go.
First step is we could just
I would
plug
say-
power into this and make sure it powers up.
Yeah. Sweet. We're just testing now to make sure that everything's hooked up properly. I wrote a little bit of like dummy code just to turn the switches on and off. So what pins do you think the inhibitor is on?
Green and red. So that's
The two inner ones? Middle two?
yeah.
Okay. And do you have a short length of wire we can short the other two with? It should blink that orange LED, which it did. We're good. Okay, we have it mostly working. We did a little bit off camera because there were like a herd of children in here, and God knows San Francisco parents and children and cameras don't mix. So there's one small problem, but it mostly works.
Two small problems. Sometimes it eats it, but it doesn't actually eat it. It'll spit it back out, but it takes like 10 seconds for it to like spit the bill back out. So I gotta work on that. I think it's like dirty or something, but it'll spit it back out. And sometimes it works totally fine. So let's try this again.
So now it's got credits. Pretty much works as expected now.
Almost a jackpot, but you still get paid.
So herein lies the problem, which is that the right thing is not coming up on the reels anymore. It should be, I don't even know, it probably should be like double bars for this one. And the reels just seem a little bit weak. And so we tested it with the bill acceptor unplugged, and it works fine. So we think that it's just the bill acceptor is drawing too much current for
Shit over the edge.
for our existing power supply, which was actually the original one from the slot machine, which is not at all intended to run what is now running on it. So it's not all that surprising.
So I'll just run that separately with wall wart, and you should be fine.
Sweet. That about does it. We're gonna go wrap up here, put tools away, and I'm headed off to China in 2 days, so I gotta go move out of the apartment I'm staying in and things like that. As always, I'm Scotty, this is Matt, this is Strange Parts. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll see you again soon with some China adventures. Oh, and you should go check out Matt's stuff at smallchangearcade.com. Right?
Yeah, you come here and use the machine.
Great, and come to Free Gold Watch and use the machine. It should be operational, what, tomorrow, probably? By the time this video goes live, it'll be up.